Welcome to the Goalpost, the podcast where it's all about long-term player development. We're here to talk soccer through a different lens, one that puts the players before the scoreboard and progress before pressure. This is all youth soccer with a purpose. All development, all the time. I'm your host, Jason Glover.
Welcome back to the Goalpost, where we talk about what actually builds intelligent players. Stop fixing the mistake. Today's episode was inspired by a powerful idea from Lee Waddington in Game Mind, coaching the brain game. If you haven't explored some of his work, I highly recommend it. He challenges coaches to rethink what we're already doing in training. When we step on the field, are we thinking of this one idea in particular? And that is one of the most damaging habits in coaching is fixing the outcome instead of the behavior. And once you see the game this way, you can't unsee it. So here's the visible mistake. During a game, there's a bad pass. It gets intercepted, and the coach shouts, "Come on, that pass has to be better," which sounds reasonable, right? But as Waddington emphasizes, the visible mistake, the pass, is rarely the root cause. The real breakdown happened seconds earlier. And that's the layer that is ignored. It's an invisible layer. Because you have to ask yourself, before the pass, did the player who was passing the ball scan the field? Did they orient their body and position themselves correctly? Did they recognize pressure early? Did they decide too late? Did they lack intention? What I mean by lack intention is sometimes you see players, they actively kick the ball without putting any intention in the technical approach in kicking a ball. Maybe they just swing their leg or they do anything to get rid of the ball, but it's not driven by a technical approach. It's fear or flight. So these behaviors determine that outcome of that pass. But we say the pass has to be better because execution, making the pass, remember, communication, decision-making, execution. Execution is the last piece of the puzzle. Execution is visible. Behavior before execution is invisible. And that's the real game. That's the brain game. And that's where soccer lives. So what players learn without us realizing it is over time, they learn something very dangerous. They learn that only execution matters. So they focus on making cleaner passes, avoiding visible mistakes, and playing safe. But the decision quality never improves. Watch professional games, and you'll see even at the pro level, they really don't understand the game in this manner. Because if they're making bad decisions, it's plain as obvious and in plain sight. So when the game speeds up, all of this collapses. Because the environment never trained what happens before the mistake. So Performance is driven by cognitive behavior, perception. You have to anticipate. You have to time your decisions. So it's not just technical execution. So if we only coach the output, we ignore the operating system. So when the game gets faster, and we've all seen it, the training looks okay, but then game day arrives, the tempo increases, pressure increases, and then suddenly the touch on the ball is rushed, passes are forced, and players, they look panicked. And we think they just need better technique under pressure. But the truth is, they weren't trained to manage the pressure cognitively. They were trained to fix the visible error. We have to coach the brain, not just the foot on the ball. So instead of a coach saying, play a better pass, a better approach would be, when did you see the defender? What was your intention before you received the ball? Where was your body facing? Did you decide before the ball arrived to make that pass? So now you're starting to coach perception and anticipation and behavior. And that's the shift that we have to start making. Instead of obsessing over the bad pass and that mistake, start shaping the brain which led you to the bad pass. Teach. So there's a dangerous pattern when players only hear correction about outcomes. They stop taking risks. They avoid playing forward, which is the most progressive pass in all of soccer. They start to protect themselves, don't want to make a mistake. So then the creativity starts to fade away, and then confidence starts to shrink. And guess what? Clubs do this all the time. They're so afraid of losing a game because of development, and they're willing to sacrifice your kid in order to win. And they're going to tout all the different stuff that they're doing and all the leagues and all of this and that and where their kids are traveling. But they're sacrificing the player because what happens if we lose? Because we're trying to develop. Because they think that the only thing that matters is visible success. And that's not development. That's survival for that coach, that club, and that player. They're all trying to survive. And it blows my mind away that you see this at U6, U10, U15. You really shouldn't be trying to win all of the championships and at the same time sacrificing development. So the real work happens before the ball arrives, early scanning, body orientation, spacing, intention, timing your decision. And when those behaviors improve, execution improves naturally. When those behaviors are ignored, execution remains unpredictable. Fixing the pass fixes nothing. Fixing the preparation changes everything. So parents, when your child makes a mistake, try asking, what did you see before you got the ball? Don't lean in on why didn't you complete that pass? That question alone moves development forward. What did you see before you received the pass? And it shifts from embarrassment to awareness. And awareness builds intelligent players. So here's a final thought. Soccer is extremely brain intensive. And execution is the final layer. But behavior before execution is where development can be improved. If we keep correcting the mistake, we stay on the surface. If we coach the behavior, we build players who can handle speed, chaos, and pressure. And that's how you raise good soccer players making good decisions. And that's how you grow soccer IQ, soccer intelligence, whatever you want to call it. So if this episode made you think, you know what? Share it then. Share it with another coach, with another parent, with your spouse. Let your children listen to it. Because when you change what we can effectively teach and how we teach, if we can change that, we can change what the players become. And that's the whole purpose. Can we improve the player? Can we change them? Can we enhance their environment? Can we give them a platform to grow off of? This is the Goalpost. All development, all the time.
I'm really glad you joined us today on the Goalpost. Raising and supporting young players isn't always easy, but choosing to focus on their growth, their joy, and their character, now that's the right thing to do. You might not see the results right away, but every small moment you invest makes a big difference in your child's life. And remember, all development, all the time. That's not just a motto, it's a promise. We'll be here next time cheering with you.